Hey everybody, I wanted to have an interesting conversation with all the realtors out there. And I learned years and years ago about what they call a cost approach analysis, or maybe we should just change it to a living approach analysis. And how this came about, I was taught this from my real estate coach, and how this came about was, why do so many people, realtors in this particular case, not achieve at a higher level? And so the question was given out at an event I was at, and then a particular individual who described it and said why this happens, I thought was very fascinating. So I wanted to share this all with you guys today. And so I want everybody to write the word down, if you can, the word complacency. And my mentor, Mike Ferry, always says complacency is the disease of the human spirit. And then he goes in to go in depth regarding how we live our life. And so what I'm going to ask everybody to do in this video is write down, whether you're single or whether you have a spouse, you're married, write down how much money you need to pay your monthly bills. So your mortgage payment, your car payment, your living expenses, your food, your utilities, things like that. Maybe even throw in a little bit of fun in there if you want. But mainly it's just the things that would cause you to survive from month in and month out. And then from there, if you're a real estate agent, which is the person who I'm really talking to here, take out or add to maybe the income that a spouse and or another contributor makes. So if you are, let's just say, married and your spouse works and they contribute to that income or that debt, then now you have to reduce that income, and you have X left over. And what's left over is you as a realtor and your responsibility in order to cover those expenses, right? Does this make sense? So we call this a cost analysis, meaning what does it cost you to live? How much do you need? Well, here's where it gets extremely interesting. And these were things that I've tested out for years that I actually found true with 99% of most people. See, what's fun is most people will say, I would like to have this. It would be great to have a new car. It would be great to be able to take my family on really great vacations. It'd be great to have a better home. It'd be great to have a bunch of money in my retirement. And they would say, how fun does that sound like that would be? It's pretty exciting to dream big. And I think that we all have to dream big, right? There's not anything that says we shouldn't dream big. I recommend everybody do that. But what we have found is that most people live to pay bills based on survival. And what this means is, by doing all of these different tests through all of these agents we've worked with in the past, what we find is most agents will actually work to their survival, not to their dream. And so if, let's just say that your household income needs to have $100,000 a year, and your spouse makes $50,000, and you're required to absorb the other $50,000, what we found is that the agent only puts in enough effort to meet that number. And as we push agents or encourage agents or coach agents to think bigger, they always land at survival. Meaning, I'm paying my car payment, I'm paying my rent payment, I'm paying my mortgage payment, and I'm not really exceeding to a much higher level than that. So how does an agent then make a decision to not just earn $50,000, but earn $300,000, earn $400,000? Let's say they're earning 5 times their need or 10 times their need, right? And so the question then is, why don't most agents push themselves to a higher level? And the answer is because they don't have to. Wanting something is never enough of actually having to have something, right? I heard and read actually even something recently that said 80% of all people work towards eliminating pain, right? So what they're doing is they're working towards pain. So pain in this case might be, I don't have enough money to pay my rent, so I'm going to pay my rent. Or I don't have enough money to make my car payment, so I'm going to make my car payment. Or I got to work really hard to put food on the table, and then you work hard putting food on the table. 20% of people work towards pleasure. And pleasure is, I'd like to have that really nice expensive car. I'd like to have that really beautiful home. I'd like to take my kids and my family on a really great family, expensive family vacation. Only 20% of you will work towards pleasure. Most of us, including myself, work towards pain. And so here's the question: what pain are you working to avoid? My pain was the pain of disappointment. My pain was a pain of not being fully worthy of what I felt like I could accomplish. And so my level of growth happened from my fear of not having. And it was actually a fear-based thing. What is yours? And if you look at your current situation today and you say, gosh, I really want to have, the question is, can you change the language that says, I really have to have? And when you change that association in that language, the chance of you growing exponentially is very, very, very high. What I'm saying here is if you look at your daily life today, your home, your car, your bank account, and your life, ask yourself this question: am I surviving and choosing to accept what I have? Or am I willing to push myself to my goal and make myself so uncomfortable that it becomes an actual need and not just a want? It's an interesting topic, but I can tell you, I've seen it with the people that I've worked with within my company a lot. I've seen it within my friends in the real estate community around the country. And the word comes down to this one really interesting word, and it's what I started with today. And that's the word complacency. Complacency is the disease of the human spirit, where it allows you to accept something versus fulfilling your ultimate life goal. I hope everybody has a really great day.